some examples of some of the techniques we employ for this particular client? Because as you rightly said, there are many techniques that we've used depending on the particular client we're interacting with. For this particular client, can you just identify some of the ways you were able to bridge that gap, dispel those fears that existed within that environment?
Right, so the first thing we always utilize is education. We educate the customer. We try as much as possible to dispel the fears, and I know it may not be easy to do that for some people, but we try our best to dispel those fears of technology. But the area that we found most success is in involvement, getting them involved in the process.
The buy-in.
Yes, letting them understand, this is why I'm doing this. This is why you are taking so long and you're frustrated doing this, because there are other ways we can expedite this task with you so that you can do something else a little better on the other side. And we created something we call, we love to call it DX teams. Those digital transformation teams is a cross-section of the organization. Initially, we used to only involve management, but then we realized that's an error. So we included management and regular staff, if you may call them that.
All levels within the organization.
All levels. And that actually assisted in us getting more buy-in. Because now, generally, culturally, in Trinidad, how we are. We have the management, we have the regular employees, and we have bickering here,
here.
Correct. So we kind of bridge that gap. So we have impact on all areas, on all levels of the organization. And of course, with instilling the power in management to drive the change. Because now, another issue we had is that management didn't completely understand the vision. But now, with the education and the frequent communication, it allowed the management team, the executive team, to understand not holistically or holistically yet of the entire vision, but I think they understand enough now to be able to implement certain things and drive that change going downwards and into the organization. And that in itself created a significant impact.
And I have to agree with you, Schofield, because that's pivotal. If management doesn't have the buy-in, then the rest of the organization is not going to buy into the initiative. It can't be a Domino's experience where we're telling lower level staff, this is what you must do, but I'm going to be using people. It has to be something where they're actually seeing the good old saying, lead by example. They have to see them actually utilizing the technology, and when they see them utilizing the technology, it also tells signals to them, okay, this is the direction we're going. There is no other alternative. I need to get on board with this initiative.
And something else that just came to mind, in most organizations that we're going to do this transformational process, we recognize that the same task, but there are 4 or 5 ways that the individuals, the employees do it. And that in itself is a stumbling block in an area that we always have to cross, because broad picture management will think, hey, the process is A, B to C, but when you speak to the different employees in different sections, or just different employees in the same section, they all have unique ways of getting tasks done. There's no standard blueprint for that particular process.
And that's the benefit of having different levels within the actual DX team, so you have a full appreciation of what everybody's point of view is on this process.
So when we started with the process mapping exercise, and we bring it to management and show, hey, this is what we captured from employees. And then at the same time, we have to indicate to them, listen, this is the time to re-engineer, to create the change, because now you can see what it's like. Let's not just replicate this manual process with all the errors into a digital process with all the errors.
Agreed.
So we seek at that point in time to re-engineer it and also streamline to put the efficiency, the accountability, and all the other things in. And I always say it is not a one and done. You're going to have to keep re-engineering that process, because what we've experienced is that as they get more exposure to the technology and what's possible, their minds open and then they come to us now with ideas. Hey, maybe we could cut this out or add this, and this might add more efficiency down the pipeline, or we can have a dashboard about this. I really like to see this. So it aids.